Thank you for joining us on This Is Exclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Niranjan, and we have to do a reality check on India's sports infrastructure. We're doing that on the show this evening. Here are the headlines, 7 p.m. on Republic. Major controversy during the India Open. Pigeon droppings, pollution, monkeys inside the stadium, the state of India's sporting infrastructure under question. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee insults forces, claims army commandant doing BJP and SIR work. She directly targets the army now.
कौन? अराजकता की मूर्ति, जंगल राज का प्रतीक ममता बनर्जी। और बड़े दुख से कहना पड़ता है, ये वो व्यक्ति है जो संविधान की शपथ लेता है।
BJP goes after Mamata Banerjee after she faces a huge jolt in the Supreme Court. ED, FIR stayed. All the FIRs filed by the Bengal police now stayed by the Supreme Court after intervention. Ahmedabad crash. Investigation continues. And why on earth is the Accident Bureau under DGCA going after pilots and summoning pilots' relatives in the investigation? Legal notice sent to the DGCA. In the last few days, there have been headlines after players complained about the air quality, complained about the state of infrastructure, complained about pigeon droppings, complained about monkeys inside the stadium. And we here at Republic have done a reality check at some of the sporting facilities where the tournament is currently underway. Let's show you some of the videos. First up, let's show you the pictures that came in. Some of the videos that have come in. This is inside the KD Jadhav Stadium. These are pictures that came in showing how monkeys were walking around the stands. And the Badminton Association of India says that the door was open and that's how the monkeys just happened to get inside. But this is not the only reason why we are doing this story. Let's show you some more pictures of the state of infrastructure. This is a state of sporting infrastructure. This is the KD Jadhav Stadium. This is garbage strewn all around. These were pictures taken by Republic reporter today. The Republic reporter was there at the KG Jadhav Stadium, and in fact we will be joined by some of our reporters who are live inside and outside the stadium. We have reporters inside the stadium and outside the stadium. And this is the state of infrastructure. In fact, some of the athletes complain, and you remember that in the national capital, in the last few months, there have been several complaints by athletes. It's not only about India Open, it's not only about badminton, it's about the sporting infrastructure. There were athletes who came to the national capital a few months back, but were bitten by stray dogs. And now you have athletes, some of whom have withdrawn because of the poor air quality in the national capital. Some are complaining about how there were pigeon droppings on the badminton court. And this is the state of affairs inside. In fact, these are not just stray dogs, and there was garbage inside the stadium. Let's show the pictures of the garbage that was being cleaned as we were reporting from inside. We will be reporting inside the stadium as well in a short while from now. But that's the national capital. That is the KD Jadhav Stadium. It's a reality check. And our duty here at Republic TV is to give those who run India's sporting bodies a reality check of what is happening inside sporting infrastructures. Crores and crores of rupees is spent building these stadiums. And then look at the state of the infrastructure, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why we are raising some questions on whether adequate care is taken, whether we are taking sports serious enough, and then we ask questions about whether we, failed to win medals, why we failed to win medals, whether we did enough for athletes and whether athletes failed us. But if this is the state of infrastructure and if this is how much we care about sports in India, then questions will have to be asked. And that is why we are getting you these pictures. This is inside the badminton stadium. Let's show you what some of the players said. We had graphics. Before I go across to Harsh, I want to show you some of the comments that were made. Of course, the Badminton Association of India is countering these claims. I'm going to put out the graphics now of what the Badminton Association of India said and what the players from different countries complained about. Let's put that up first, please. If we can show our viewers, on air, we'll just do that. And take a look at this situation. This is a Danish shuttler, Mia Blichfeldt. She said the situation remains unchanged from last year. She was here last year as well. And then she complained about this. She said the badminton courts are dirty and unfit to be played on, saying the condition of the court is unhealthy, professional. She spoke about bird droppings and she spoke about how cold the stadium was even for practice. And then another shuttler, this is world number 3, Anders Antonsen. He's a Danish shuttler. Withdrew. He said, don't think Delhi is a place to host a badminton tournament, given the air quality. And it is embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen, because we spoke about air quality, and as we speak, as of this minute, the air quality in the Delhi NCR is above 350. It's above 350. And it is in the poor to hazardous category. And that is why athletes are extremely let down. Indians should be angry about the state of affairs, and we are asking those questions. Harsh is joining us live. Let's go back to those pictures. And Harsh is outside the KD Jadhav Stadium. Yeah, let me go across to him. Harsh, you were there. Can you tell us where you shot, recorded these pictures? Were these pictures inside the stadium compound? By the way, this is what the BAI says. They've said that the remarks made by these players are not about the main playing arena, and that the comments on the training venue, and they're not really on the match arena. Adding that the foreign players spoke about general playing conditions in India. This is what Sanjay Mishra said. He is the General Secretary of BAI, saying that the player did not speak about the competition venue. So they say that training venue, this can happen, but in the competition venue, it is perfectly fine. Now, this is the justification that came in. But let's go back to the pictures of the KD Jadhav Stadium. The monkeys, garbage, and Harsh is joining me live. Harsh, where did you shoot these pictures, and can you tell us about what you saw there?
Yes, Niranjan, we are standing right outside the KD Jadhav Stadium here in New Delhi. What the pictures we shot a few minutes back were the pictures right outside the stadium premises, and let me tell you that this was originally the official spot where India Open was scheduled to take place. However, it was later shifted to Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium. However, when the team of Republic made attempts to go inside the stadium to actually see the condition here, we were not allowed to go inside. Deliberate efforts were made to drag us outside the stadium. However, we managed to click a few videos where it can be seen that workers were deployed while we were reporting to actually clean the premises.
1 minute. Harsh, there's a video here where they're cleaning the garbage. I'm going full frame to the pictures and I'm going to describe the pictures, and I want you to tell us where those pictures were shot. Now, this is garbage. This is inside the stadium premises, not outside. It's inside the KD Jadhav Stadium, right? It's inside the compound where you're seeing all these people and they're clearing the garbage. And you're saying the garbage was being cleared after you went inside, right? After you went inside.
Yes, right. We are standing currently right outside the main entrance of the KD Jadhav Stadium. And when you see, if I would ask my video journalist to pan inside the stadium, what you can see is the premises that was being cleaned when we were reporting from inside the stadium. However, teams were deployed to drag us outside the stadium. We were not allowed to shoot the videos that we shot. However, we managed to shoot a couple of videos there. And there were workers deployed to actually clean the stadium while we were reporting from inside. However, our video journalists were not allowed inside the stadium premises. We made multiple attempts to let us go in, but we were not allowed to. but we still managed to get a couple of shots from inside the stadium while they made deliberate efforts to clean the stadium out after the news broke in about poor hygiene condition, despite a tournament of this importance, a tournament of significant importance that is happening, where shuttlers not just from India but from across the world are taking part. Over to you, Niranjan.
Okay, sure. Thank you for that. We'll keep a close watch on the story. This is what happened at the KD Jadhav Stadium. We'll move on and get you some more updates in a short while from now. It's been about 7 months since the Ahmedabad crash, and yet we don't have any answers about what led to the AI 171 crash. Instead, there is now a complaint filed by different pilots' bodies and even the families of the pilots, including Captain Sabharwal, who was the pilot on AI 171. His family too is speaking out because we are now hearing that the pilots' relatives are being called in for questioning. In fact, there is a complaint that has been written and a legal notice sent to the AAIB by the pilots' body asking why pilots' relatives are being summoned for the investigation and whether there is an attempt to harass pilots. Now, this is a claim that is being made, and the pilot's family is also speaking out. Captain Ehsan Khalid is joining us on the show. I'd like to go across to him to get a better understanding of what is going on in this investigation. Captain Khalid, why would the relative of a pilot be called in this particular case?
This is quite baffling because we have not been told the reason unless there is a witch hunt going on and they are trying to find out what was the psyche of the pilot. That means there would be one conclusion that they drew on the first day, that the psyche of the pilot itself was not right. Right. So they would now be trying to find out the corroborative evidence that yes, the psyche was not right, because one of the relatives said that, he was fighting with someone or he wasn't very cordial or something. That's all that can be a secondary or a hearsay evidence that they're trying to collect. But I haven't heard of any such thing that has ever been taken by an aircraft investigation board without declaring that the reason for this particular accident is pilot's deliberate accident. Once you come to that conclusion, then you could be doing all these things. You can't be looking at family, friends, neighbors' statement and then say, well, this is the reason what has happened. And that is what is wrong and very disturbing. Because first, pilot AIB has to declare that we have closed all technical points. We have closed all engine failures. We have closed all battery problem. We have closed any technical thing that could have led to this particular thing. And we are now convinced that it was a deliberate act of pilot to kill the aircraft. Having made that statement, that means the investigation has closed. Then they would say that fine, now we will start investigating the psychological angle of this particular accident. But that doesn't seem to be the thing. And that is what is disturbing.
Normal, because we've never heard of a case where the relative of a pilot has been called in for investigation. We saw very strongly worded statement that came in from some of the pilots' bodies, and there has been a concern that since the beginning of this investigation, somehow the airline, in this case Air India, for all the maintenance or lack thereof, and then also how Boeing, they have been somehow, let off the hook, if I can say that.
Yeah, have we heard of a similar kind of a thing that the Boeing designer who designed the battery and its routing system has been called? No, that line of investigation is dead.
Yeah. And why do you think that's happening? Why do you think that's happening?
Pilots' relatives being called for investigation, that means the conclusion that they first said has actually been arrived at. We should know. If that be the conclusion, we should know. Not that, 10 relatives said this and who said what, under what pressure, I don't know. But the thing is that, to go on this route, the technical reason of failure must be closed and declared so. That has not been done as yet.
Family, in fact, what I want to know is the family has gone to court. They've gone to the highest court. This is Captain Sabharwal's family, and they have asked for this attempt to harass the family of the pilot somehow. You see the wording of that report that came in. It was the same AAIB report where there was an attempt to somehow put leave that question mark on the pilot in that report. You remember we discussed that report in great detail.
Yeah.
Does it appear that they've made up their mind in this case?
No, they made up the mind on the first 48 hours itself. They haven't changed the mind, and that is what you're telling me. What the mind was made in first 48 hours has not changed a bit. That is what was the complaint that Captain Sabharwal's father had gone to the board, FIP had gone to the board, to the Supreme Court. Alpa had gone to the Supreme Court that please change this mindset, approach this investigation with an open mind. But that doesn't seem to be there because they haven't changed their stand a bit. This news that you are giving me that, they are calling the relatives, it's just towing the first 48 hours of line of thinking.
Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it at that, Captain Khalid. Let's see where the story goes because Captain Sabharwal's father is also going to speak to Republic in a short while from now. Let's see what he has to say because it's a very, very mysterious move. We don't know. We don't have a response yet from the DGCA or the AAIB on why the family has been called. But this is what we have so far. The story of how another pilot related to Captain Sabharwal has now been called in for questioning in the investigation of the Ahmedabad crash.
Okay.
The Federation of Indian Pilots has accused the AAIB of harassing the family of deceased pilot Captain Sumit Sabharwal by summoning his nephew in AI 171 crash probe. FIP has issued a notice to the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau regarding the summoning of Captain Varun Anand in connection with the investigation of the AI 171 crash. The letter flags the fact that Captain Varun Anand had no association with the aircraft or the flight in question. He was not present at the site of the accident and does not possess any factual, technical, or operational knowledge relating to the circumstances of the accident. The Federation has objected that the communication calling Captain Varun Anand does not disclose the statutory provision under which he has been summoned, nor does it specify the purpose of the summons or the capacity in which his presence is required.
AIB had written to the airline, and the airline has been pressurizing the captain to go and attend the proceedings with AIB. It is against the rules of the AIB and also as per Annex 13 of ICAO. This does not fall under the purview of the calling of Varun to AIB. Does not fall under these categories of any witnesses who would be of any use towards the finalization of the inquiry.
According to the notice, the summoning of Captain Anand is solely on account of his familial relationship with the deceased pilot, which is stated to be impermissible in law. The notice asserts that such summoning is without jurisdiction. Captain Varun Anand is neither a factual witness, nor a technical witness, nor an expert witness in relation to the accident. Instead of objectively examining systemic, mechanical, or operational causes, it is feared that there is a possible attempt to attribute responsibility to the deceased flight crew. Father of late Captain Sumit Sabharwal and FIP have already approached the Supreme Court challenging the independence and fairness of the investigation.
And that's it on this edition of This Is Exclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, this is trending coming up next, and the debate at 8 p.m. Stay tuned.